All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division where there has been talk by a eminent boxing writer about what Gervonta Davis will be doing at 135 pounds, and for people that are looking for the fight between he and Frank Martin. Sounds like bad news, but let's look into it first because I'm not quite sure if I agree. But let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division, where word is that Gervonta Tank Davis will be announcing his fight soon. That will be coming up sometime in could be April, could be May, could be June. There was a report out there by Ring Magazine that he was going to be going over to the UK to fight. Would not know exactly who that is if Gervonta goes to the UK to fight. I've heard since then that people have said that didn't make any sense. But yesterday I was listening to, and shout out to AM Sports Media, was listening to a live stream where Jake Donovan, who is a writer for Boxing Scene, was giving his thoughts on Gervonta Davis, and I thought that they were interesting. Not sure if I agree with them, but definitely worth something considering. And it was about two things. One was a fight with what Gervonta Davis is going to be doing with the belts next, whether he would fight Frank Martin or fight Rayo Valenzuela. And the other one is just a conversation around the belt where I think that there is a misunderstanding. But before I get into it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much. Specifically, thank you to Maddie Yole, and thank you to Barbara D and Deborah Booker. Thank you guys for being in the super thanks and supporting the channel. Also, D Murray, Unadulterated Truth, and several other people that have done it. But let's get into this. So Jake Donovan believes that Gervonta Davis will drop his belt instead of fighting Frank Martin or whoever else at the 135-pound division, and made it seem as if he believed that it would be somebody like Frank Martin or Rayo Valenzuela fighting for a vacant 135-pound title. And also that Gervonta Davis had a misunderstanding when he tweeted something about not wanting the WBA belt that was given up by Devin Haney when Devin Haney moved to 140 pounds. So first, let me say this. I think that is I don't think that may be the case, but I think that may have just, a bit of not quite giving Gervonta Davis the credit that he deserves for being willing to fight whoever it is that they put in front of him. And now maybe what they mean is that their team is not going to want him to fight it. But to me, when I hear Gervonta won't want to do it, I don't think people are going to differentiate and say, well, who would the PBC want him to fight, right? And obviously there's been a tendency for Gervonta Davis and other fighters as well to fight people that have come from a different demographic of fighter than they do, which Rayo Valenzuela fits and Frank Martin does not necessarily fit. However, Gervonta Davis's willingness to fight somebody that they put him in there with, I think that's already been established when he fought Mario Barrios, because he did not want to go to 140 pounds to fight Mario Barrios. That was a decision that was made by Mayweather Promotions. So also having fought guys like Rolly Romero, he didn't want to fight. My understanding is he didn't want to fight Rolly Romero, but Rolly Romero was the mandatory. He fought the guy. He fought his mandatory. He fought the guy that they put in front of him, right? And Gervonta himself has said that he really doesn't care who he fights. He doesn't really ask for people to fight. It's just whoever they put in front of him is the person he's going to fight. There was one instance, I do believe, when he was talking about Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson and those guys who kept mentioning his name. And he said, look, man, I don't ever mention guys' names, but okay, when I get done with Hector Garcia and Ryan Garcia, cool, I want you. Now, the fight didn't take place or hasn't taken place to date. And people are putting that on Gervonta Davis, but really think it's unfair to put that on him, seeing as right after he fought Ryan Garcia, which is his last fight, Devin Haney moved up to 140 pounds. So, and there's a lot of conversation about the necessity for Gervonta to move up to 140 pounds behind him, but why? He's a 135-pound fighter. If Devin wanted that fight, Devin should have stayed at 135 pounds. Or should we be willing to come down to 135 pounds or take whatever particular stipulations Gervonta Davis has for the fight if he wants to fight. But honestly, you don't even really think Devin is going to be at 140 pounds very long if you take his word. And you think about things that like Wally Moses said when he said, look, man, he's not going to be at 140 pounds very long, man. He's going to be up at 147 pounds. Gervonta and Devin Haney are just not the same weight class. And so it's just not a matter where it's going to be able to work. By the time those guys are actually both free to fight each other, they're going to be 3 weight classes apart. But I just think it is a little bit much to assume that Gervonta Davis will drop his belt, not fight Frank Martin, that he won't fight Rayo Valenzuela, because what else is he going to do? Is he going to go to 140 pounds and not fight anybody for a title? Is he going to go back into the WBA rankings, the WBC rankings, and work his way up to a championship? It just doesn't make sense. To me, that doesn't make sense, and I've still yet to see anybody that is a big name fighter, that is an active big name fighter, that is really truly running around not fighting for any type of titles. Every big name fighter that there is has at least that is making those type of that type of splash in the sport. They're all attached to one belt or another, unless they're retired. Floyd was always fighting for a championship, even though he said belts don't matter. I think what he meant by, well, at least the way it played out when he said that belts don't matter, is that he didn't have to have 3 of them. He didn't have to have 4 of them. Right? Same thing with pretty much everybody else. Tyson Fury, who's the best heavyweight, keeps belts. Canelo Alvarez is the biggest, him and Gervonta Davis, the biggest names in the sport. He keeps a belt. Matter of fact, right now he's keeping 4 of them. He's steady fighting for championships. So I don't see where exactly it is that Gervonta Davis is going to go, and what good would it do to him to drop that WBA world title? To do what? To give it to somebody else so he can turn back around and fight them? Or go what? Go fight for the vacant WBO belt? It just doesn't make sense to me. And I think more than likely he's going to fight one of those 2 guys. He's going to fight Rayo, or he's going to fight Rayo Valenzuela, or he's going to fight Frank Martin, or they're going to find some other person that they're going to allow him to fight, right? I think that's what's going to happen. And then more than likely, it's going to be an in-house fight for the PBC. Because they have a new deal with Amazon, and who he fights is going to be more dictated by somebody being with the PBC and being part of that deal than it is whether or not they hold a belt or don't hold a belt. But that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comments section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.